Michael Jordan once said, "Even when I'm old and gray, I won't be able to play, but I'll still love the game." Michael is arguably the best player to ever play the game. He states he will always appreciate the game and its players before him. With Michael Jordan only taking part in a small part of the history of the game of basketball, he doesn't want to forget the history of the game of basketball. He doesn't want to forget the history of the game, also what happened before him, and he definitely doesn't want to miss what's going to happen after now that he's retired. At the end of this, you will better know the history of basketball and some of its greatest players and teams. To allow you to know these things, we will first dunk into the history of the creation of the game. Second, we'll shoot our way into some of the best players. And finally, we're going to dive into some of the greatest teams to ever play the game. But first off, like I said, we're going to start by dunking into the creation and the history of the game. And there's a lot of history behind the creation of basketball. It was created by Dr. James Naismith, who worked at what we know today as the YMCA. He created it in early December of 1891. He needed something for his students to do when it was raining outside, or in the winter when there was snow and it was just too cold to go outside. But he tried a lot of ideas and they didn't work. So he found one. He nailed a peach basket to a wall that was about 10 feet high, and he used a soccer ball that they would shoot into the basket. But the only problem with that is that he had to go manually remove the ball from the basket. So after a while, he cut a hole in the bottom of it so he could poke out the ball with a stick, and that he found that easier. But after he figured out the structure of the game, he was faced with the challenge of creating rules for the game so it could be safe and fair for everyone to play. And he started with just 13 simple rules. But today, there's more than 13 rules due to the need to evolve, so to assure that the game is being played right and fair to all the players. And the 13 original rules 2 years ago sold for $4.3 million. Dr. Naismith decided that only 5 players could be on the court at one time, but the team could consist of more players. The National Basketball League was formed on June 6th, 1947. It came because the BAA and the NBLA merged together, and that created the NBA. There's currently 30 teams in the NBA, and it is rising in popularity very, very quickly. Now that you know about the creation and the putting together of basketball, we're gonna shoot into some of our greatest players ever. There are a lot of great players to have played the game of basketball. I'm sure if you've ever asked anybody, your older people who watched the game way long ago, you're gonna get some Wilt Chamberlains, some Larry Birds, and if you ask kids nowadays in 20s, you're gonna get Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. But the most common name you are going to get is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is credited for changing the game into how it is played today. He is known for his incredible jumping ability and his monstrous dunks. I mean, he would do it all the time. Over his 15 years in the league, Michael Jordan put up an amazing amount of points at 32,292. He has the record for points per game average over an entire career, which is 30.1. That is amazing. Another great achievement is he has 6 NBA championships. He's made so many game-winning shots and just everything you could imagine. But one thing nobody will ever forget was his flu game against the Celtics in the finals. He put up 38 points and won one of his 6 NBA championships while having the flu. Another great, phenomenal player is Wilt Chamberlain. He played for many teams during his career, but the one thing he will always be remembered for is when he put up 100 points in a game on March 2nd, 1962. That'll probably never be broken. 100 points, that's ridiculous. But now, for the newer generation of greatest players, Kobe Bryant's going to come up quite a bit. He's arguably the best Laker of all time, one of the top. He has 5 championships, and he is currently sitting 5th on the list for points in a game with 30,933. His best game scoring-wise ever was on January 22nd, 2006 with 81 points in a game. That is second highest in the NBA today. Another one of the great new ones is LeBron James. He's younger still, but he's still a great athlete. He finally won his first NBA championship. However, he has 3 NBA MVP awards. Now, he's the youngest player to have reached 20,000 points, and he is 37th on the list right now with 20,410. Now, stepping back a little bit into the older days is my final player, Larry Bird. Celtic, he was just a tremendous shooter. He hardly ever missed. He was your go-to guy when you needed the shot. He is currently 30th on the list with 21,791. His best scoring night came on March 12th, 1985, and he put up 60 points. That's quite a bit still there too. Now that you know some of the greatest and most historical players to have ever played the game, let's go focus on the greatest teams to ever play the game. There are 2 very well-known teams to be called the best to play the game of basketball. And the team that is more commonly known, the one that we know as the Dream Team, they won the gold medal in 1992, and they did it by defeating Croatia in Barcelona. The team's average victory of margin throughout the Olympics was 44 points. That's incredible. But their game before they beat Croatia, they won by a score of 51 points, 127-76. Now, the other team to believe to be the best is the Dream Team of 2012. I mean, these guys were incredibly gifted athletically, and they also won the gold medal in dominating performance. The average point differential was 32 points, and it's just slightly less than the Dream Team of 92, but still, wow. The 2012 team, they beat Spain to win the gold medal, and they won that game by a score of 100-78. In the game before, it was closer than they definitely liked, with a score of 86-80 against Argentina. Everybody can say what they want to about these 2 teams. You know, you can all have your different opinions, but everybody would like to see who is the best, and we all wish they could go head to head, but unfortunately we can't. I'm sorry, but those are by far the 2 best teams to ever play basketball.